There has always been a symbiosis between Donald Trump and right-wing rhetoric. His campaign for the Republican presidential nomination in 2016 was successful. Surprisingly successful, because he was willing to embrace arguments that his more traditional rivals considered unorthodox. By selecting and defending claims about immigrants and terrorism, among other things, he tapped into a genre of argument that is often overlooked. It helped bring rhetoric into the mainstream. On Sunday, CBS News presented the results of a new poll conducted by pollster YouGov. These results offered a striking example of how this pattern suggests that even far-right arguments are hardly outside the norm anymore. YouGov asked participants whether they agreed with Trump that immigrants entering U.S. illegally have the effect of poisoning country's blood. This is not just right-wing rhetoric. It is a reflection of the most extreme racist policies in modern history. This is a clear portrayal of immigrants as dangerous, but especially in the context of posing a threat to national identity. Nearly half of Americans agree. That's largely because more than 3/4 of Republicans accepted Trump's framework. Less than half of Democrats and independents agreed. Interestingly, support was lower when the comments were not attributed to Trump. Republicans were 10 points more likely to say they agreed with Trump. Democrats were slightly less likely to agree. Overall, the difference between being told the comments came from Trump and not being told was not statistically significant. There is a lot of rationalization to accept Trump's language, but there is no serious doubt that race at the heart of this idea. This was reflected elsewhere in the CBS-YouGov poll. People were asked to evaluate their efforts to promote racial diversity and equality. Most Americans said such efforts were right or did not go far enough. 2/3 of Republicans said they went too far. Trump's support was initially based in some sense on the notion among white Republicans that they were under attack. Throughout his presidency and in years that followed, the role white grievance, concerns about diminishing status of white Americans, became an unabashed element Republican politics. The CBS poll also asked Republican primary voters whether a set of policy views would trigger more support for a particular candidate. The three people who see the highest percentage of voters saying they would increase a candidate's appeal: cutting taxes, banning surgeries to change the gender of a minor, and challenging woke ideas. Nearly 9 in 10 primary voters said support for these issues would increase their support for the candidate. There is no universally accepted understanding of woke ideas, a term that has been reframed from its original meaning. So far, it generally serves as an umbrella term for the aforementioned efforts to recognize the country's diversity and racial history. YouGov also asked people